Finally. Oh, it still says upcoming Horn Tiki Happy Hour number 7.
Oh.
It's fine. Who cares? I mean, I guess I could change it real fast.
I completely forgot
Yeah, and that what I should I didn't do my responsibilities and give it a better thumbnail. We got to get rid of that stupid thumbnail, dude. I'm over it.
that. So we're live.
We're live.
Everybody can hear us, I assume.
I hope so. Let's see. Check. Let's see. I was handling that. Let's see if it comes up, if I can hear us or not. Yep. Perfect. Here we go. All right, you guys ready? Where'd Miles go? Miles left. Miles. All right, well, hopefully he'll dial back in. Or if not, he'll send us an email and let us know why he left. All right. I guess we should wait for Terrence to come back before actually going live.
Are you guys ready? Where'd Miles go? Miles left.
Oh, this is why. Where do I plug in?
It's a good thing Miles isn't on the show tonight.
Yeah. Well, he's not on for like another 25 minutes, so I'm sure he'll call back in.
Okay.
So we're just gonna start the show. Terrence, you're there. Here, let me.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. I'm like looking at the frozen YouTube screen because I paused it, right? Just because I can check the thing, and I'm like, "Where's Terrence? He's not here," and everyone is becoming very still. And I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. All right, here we go. Wow,
Oh, what? Me?
No, Terrence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was laughing at Terrence.
Why? What do I do now?
You didn't do anything. You just look very different with a hat on. I'm not used to seeing you with a hat on.
Is that better?
It's not worse.
It's not better.
It's the same. Okay, here we go.
We have low output.
I don't care. Oh, is the Wi-Fi on? Because I plugged in the...
It just changed to green. So it's because of
Perfect.
this Norton stuff.
I don't know what that means. All right, here we go. We're going to start. Everyone, shut up. All right, here we go. And ears up intro.
It's time for the show that brings the magic right to your speakers. Ears up!
What is up, everybody? Ears Up podcast returning to the airwaves triumphant over this quarantine. I don't know what that means, but I feel triumphant because we are sick.
Well, you said returning to the airwaves, but we didn't leave. We just left this room.
We have left this room once or twice, that is true, and I'm excited about that.
Yes.
I don't know.
But we're back in
That's
this
true.
room.
Look, I'm just trying to have my unbroken streak continue of like terrible intros for the show.
Wow,
Perfect.
you are 100% over the last 5 years.
I'm pretty good, right?
You good. You good.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Terrence, how you doing?
I'm. Yeah.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
You're just
Yeah, things aren't terrible. God, man. Like, I grew up with a mom who was a school teacher, which made me realize I never wanted to be a school teacher. And this is the worst thing in the history of
Teachers here.
No.
Yep.
What do you mean, like just teaching from home?
Yeah, so like Jackson, so my oldest is me. He turns 9 in a few weeks. He's me, like to a T, same sarcastic wit, everything, me.
Mm-hmm.
And my middle kid, I always thought was Becca, but when we go to like the parent-teacher conferences, like when you get your progress reports or whatever, they're like, oh, Tommy has a hard time paying attention in class. He finishes his stuff really quickly, and then he starts to bother everyone else. And I was like, well, and I remember thinking this. I was like, well, it's kind of your fault as the teacher that you're not challenging him. I remember like thinking that, but I never verbalized it. And now he's here, and literally, I'm sitting next to him working, and every 5 seconds, Tommy, pay attention. Tommy, what are they doing right now? Tommy, you're on the wrong page. Tommy, pay attention. Tommy, pay attention. Tommy, pay attention. Like, oh my God, it's so. I hate being a teacher and principal. One of my kids is going to be expelled at some point. I know that's going to happen.
Oh, geez.
Like, this is just rough, bro. It's horrible.
Your kid is real. Your kid's so poor he can't pay attention. that old joke.
Yeah. Oh Lord,
Yeah,
this sucks, man.
Let me switch my internet here for a second. See if that doesn't screw everything up royally. It shouldn't. There we go. Yeah, that's tough, man. You know, I think we've talked about it before. Maybe it's on the Quarantiki room. I don't know, but I feel really bad for single parents of single teenagers. Not like single without boyfriends or girlfriends, but single like there's only one of them in the house, because that's gotta suck. That's got to be the hard. That's gonna be a very hard job. You have 3 kids, so you know, bless you. But
we absolutely, Jason and I absolutely have the most ideal situation possible for this, I think.
Sure.
Does he agree with you?
Sure. Let's say yes.
She's not in school. We don't have to teach her.
I should say I am childless. So do you still want to say that you have the most ideal situation?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
That's probably
hang
easier.
up on him.
Let's kick him out of the meeting. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We're going to be talking to our good friend Miles from Modeling Disney about the Disney Vacation Club a little bit later. I'm excited about this because I've always been interested in the Disney Vacation Club. I sort of still don't really know what it is, but I do know that other people that I know have recently signed up for it, so it can't be all bad. And then you know, coronavirus happened, so now it's a weird vector. But we're going to talk to Miles about that. But before we do, I want to introduce Rob and Nick from our brand new show. We partnered with an existing pod, so we did not create the pod, but Rob and Nick from Banter, Besker, and Bantha Milk, which is a Mandalorian-themed podcast, but it's sort of evolved into a Star Wars in general pod, seeing as you know, Mandalorian was only 6 eps, and then you know, the next season drops, I think, in October.
Supposedly, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, right?
As long as they're still filming, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I've read. I've read that they're still filming, that there's not going to be any delays, but I would be very surprised if that was the case. But anyway, Rob, Nick, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Happy to be here. We brought our own Bantha Milk with us today, so we're.
What is that?
Traditional Bantha Milk, you know, we can get into that later, but this is, as I was explaining earlier, I'm in the process of buying a house, so it's lean pickings. So part of our podcast is the Bantha Milk, and Bantha Milk is we like to take a drink of a nice Star Wars themed alcoholic beverage and drink it as we talk about Star Wars, which is great. But right now, you know, coronavirus. Hey, there's a cat there. Coronavirus things going on. So we're kind of just trying to drink all of our old stores of alcohol. So we're on our last dregs. So I've got here just a little tequila and blue curacao.
And how is that?
You know, you make do. You make do.
Fair,
we were talking
fair.
about teaching children. I am a teacher, so towards the end of the week, this
Yeah, you're fine.
Doesn't matter what color it is.
You sort of revert back to being a teenager and raiding your parents' liquor cabinet. You're like, Uzo? I don't know. It'll get us hammered, so let's do it.
Oh, my parents don't drink at all. Every time I go home, I'm like, you drinking this? I just.
Well, I wanted to get you guys on just to talk a little bit and introduce the pod and sort of, you know, us working together. I think it's going to be really cool. You know, we got connected a few months back, and we were just sort of talking about joining forces, and you know, with the decline in attendance of Sabers and Superpowers, we were definitely Star Wars less.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm not enough of a positive person to be the Star Wars guy. You know, I also like to have people around me that are smarter than me, or at least more knowledgeable.
That's why he married me.
That is correct.
That's why we had Alice.
Well, I think Rob was playing the long game this whole time, because how long ago did he send you that thing behind you in the studio right there, right?
Oh, yeah, the old churro
Planting
guy.
that seed.
Oh, that was you?
That was me, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Big fan. Yeah, big fan. So
That's awesome.
So
Yeah,
I've been
that's
listening
Rob.
to you guys for years now and loving it. And then when Nick and I started our own podcast about Star Wars, and I was like, you guys are Disney, we're Star Wars, we're Lucas. Lucas got bought by Disney.
Match made in heaven.
It was a match made in heaven. And I reached out to Jason, and he said, yeah, sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
So here we are. We're now a part of the family.
I think it's
Which
cool.
is awesome.
And you know what? The annoying part is that I had to listen to a show.
Yeah, that would be annoying. I get it.
Yeah.
He means that in the nicest way.
Well, I mean that in the fact that I don't listen to podcasts. And so
Okay.
that was annoying to me, where I had to go God, now I have to listen to a brand new show that I've never heard before. And
It's a glowing recommendation for us.
yeah, well, it is because you're here.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
We must have been doing something right. So thank you.
And I liked it. I liked the banter. I liked the way that you guys sort of work off of each other, and you drink, and you don't curse
Nope.
really on the show.
Not on the air.
Right.
Not
So that, you guys are
Not
from
unless my wife is joining us.
Yeah, you guys are from New Jersey. I imagine you curse up a storm all the time. But it's so it's one of those things where it sort of hits all the stuff that we do, but in different ways. So I'm happy to have you guys on board. The last show I was on, I think it was just your last show, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
where it was almost like 2 hours, and we ranked.
Yeah, we just kept going.
Yeah, we ranked all of the Star Wars movies, all 11.
Yeah.
All 11.
And it was fun. It was a good time. I had a good time with that.
Yeah, well, we do three things, I think, on our podcast really, really well. We know Star Wars really well. We like good alcohol, and we're really good at riding coattails. So we're really excited about
Perfect.
this. Right up our alley.
I love it.
I'm not sure about that middle one. You're talking about tequila and blue curacao.
I didn't say it was good alcohol.
The funny thing, the best thing about Nick's drink is every show we do a drink, and we have a rating system which changes from show to show.
Yeah, it's kind of up in the air.
It's up in the air. It depends what we want to do. But our highest rated drink was a drink that Nick's wife was a guest on our show. She created this drink called the Whistling Bluebird, and it was based during the Mandalorian run. He had these weapons in his wrist that were called bluebirds. Whistling birds. So
yeah.
She mixed the Whistling Birds with the Bluebird drink and turned it into the Whistling Bluebird drink, and it was our highest rated drink. So
Got a Baby Yoda level.
yes,
Wow.
Baby Yoda is the
Our only
highest
Baby Yoda level
Yeah.
drink of the entire show so far.
Well, and I don't even need to know the ranking system to just assume that that's the highest.
Oh, clearly.
That's,
Yeah.
I mean, that one's pretty clear. The rest of the ranking system is kind of a crapshoot. But
Right.
That's true.
It's all vague throughout the middle there. But yeah, so it looks like the drink that she made, but apparently it's nothing
It is
like
not.
the drink
It
that
is
she
not.
made. No.
Well,
And
that's
I, on the other hand, am drinking some 21A. So little tie-in to our show here. So thank you very much for that.
there we
much
go.
better than
Good.
this. Much better.
Yeah, I should hope so. Tequila and blue curacao.
Well, it's
Sounds
here's the
horrible.
thing,
Gravy.
and I realized I did actually steal this tequila from my parents last time I was at their house. But it was like these little trial size bottles, and I just had a glass of it, and I was like, this isn't going to be okay. And my wife was like, just throw something else in it. And so we tried the blue curacao. I think it did something to it.
Yeah, man. If you make little syrups, like little simple syrups with demerara or whatever, you can coat anything. It's fine.
Yeah.
You'll cover it up. Well, how can everybody listen to you? Where's your pods?
Everywhere, man.
Everywhere.
We're all over the place. We're on Twitter. If you want to catch us on social media, we post about all of the stuff that we talk about. We're Bantha Milk on Twitter. We're also on Instagram and Facebook, but we're on Spotify. We're on Stitcher. We're on Google Music or Google Podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts. We just, in the last couple episodes, because of all this social distancing stuff, started doing this and live streaming on YouTube. So we're on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So just type in Banter, Beskar, and Bantha Milk anywhere you want to, and eventually you'll find it.
If you can remember all of our name of our show.
Yes.
It is kind of a tough name. I'm not going to lie.
It is,
Yeah.
Every episode that goes by, I go to this hashtag, the Bantha Milk podcast. That just, it rolls off the tongue.
Bantha Milk.
Like-
yeah.
I don't know. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
workshop it. You think if we're gonna put two versions of our show out there with two different names, whichever one gets the most listens.
Oh, do a little A/B testing.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I see. We'll do a whole new feed. It'll be great. Yeah, I remember talking to everybody about it, like, oh yeah, we're gonna bring this new show on, and people are like, oh, what is it? I'm like, I don't know. Let me Google it. I have to figure it out. Because they're just words I'm not used to. But Bantha Milk, everyone loves Bantha Milk, man.
Yeah. So I mean, we love the banter, so that's where that came from. And then I was looking for a deep connection to The Mandalorian. So because we wanted to be about The Mandalorian show before it even came out.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so what's a deep connection? So
we're teachers too, so we're going for alliteration, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
So I'm like looking through Wikipedia, looking for something deep that deals with the Mandalorians, and I find banter, and I'm like, oh, that's the armor that they or Beskar. I'm like, oh, that's the armor that they wear. It's Beskar. I'm like, this is perfect. I'm like, and then we need something else. And Nick was like, well, if we're gonna drink, we can do Bantha Milk. So that's how the name came about.
The problem was we never in our wildest dreams believed that Beskar would play such an enormous role in The Mandalorian. We really lucked out there.
Yeah, because that was the whole basically first season, right? He was trying to get his armor up, right?
Yeah.
His armor, yeah. And
What's
It just
Beskar?
happened to be a Mandalorian word that started with B. We really lucked out.
Yeah. You guys did great. Well, for teachers, how is the teaching game going, working from home real fast?
This is my classroom right here.
Yeah, it's just like we feel the same way that Terrence feels.
Yeah?
It's just as tough. Like we're constantly putting stuff out there, hoping that kids do the work. You have the kids who breeze through it; they're done in 20 minutes, and then you have the other kids that are struggling. Kids doing homework at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. You can see every time that, like, when they turn assignments in, some of them are turned in 11:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. And we teach middle school, and I'm like, why are you guys still up?
Kids who are like watching their younger siblings while they're doing all this too. So
Oh, geez.
God.
it's a mess. I mean, I feel like maybe some people think like teachers are at home like
Hanging
doing
out.
this, but like we're like, I'm really bummed, man. Like this is not fun at all. I want to be back in the classroom tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm on the board of directors at my kid's school, and every teacher there has probably 150% more workload now.
Oh, agreed, 100%. Yes.
Yeah, you
I've
guys
never been grading this much. Never.
Yeah, you guys are doing a lot of work for not enough money. So I wish I could help you, but I can't. So
Well, thank you. It's funny because we're both like we call them related arts. We're the special teachers. Like I'm the computer teacher. Nick is a music teacher. So even us, like we had our system down. We knew what we were doing while we were in school. We had a whole routine, and now we're like grading 4 times as much work. Everything is upside down, So it's crazy. It's definitely weird. And
are you guys
very lucky? Feel very lucky to be working still.
Oh,
Got it.
absolutely.
that's
Yeah.
true.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of people in this country and this world that are in a lot worse situation than we are, but it is tough. It is certainly tough.
Are you noticing anything of like what Terrence said, where any parents come to you and be like, "Look, I thought that you were awful with my kid, but it turns out I was awful with my kid."
I don't know about Rob. I've been getting a lot of emails from parents, definitely thanking us. Which has been, just like I really appreciate the stuff that you're doing, and the innovative assignments you're giving and stuff. So I've gotten a couple of those, which has been nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, last week was a teacher appreciation week, so we did get a lot of thank yous last week and a lot of wow. It was interesting. And then the other thing that like is also disappointing and sad and depressing, I guess, is for like all the seniors out there. And like I coach a spring sport, which was completely canceled. I had 9 seniors on my team this year, none of which got to play their senior year. They're not having their graduations, they're not having all the stuff. So it's like it's confusing and tough all the way around, and it's a shame. But I mean, it's what we have to do right now. The alternative is not a good idea. So
how does that work when let's say you're applying for college, right? And your senior sport or whatever most likely would transition to some sort of college entry. Do they just get, I don't know, A's or whatever it is? I don't know.
I'm glad I don't teach high school because that kind of goes all over. Because with middle school, it's tough, but like, okay, we'll make it work. But when you're talking class rank and you're talking GPA and you're talking college credits and you're talking football scholarships, it really throws a whole wrench into everything,
Yeah.
Yeah, like
they're doing it.
For a lot of the sports, your junior year is the year that you're being looked at by colleges and stuff like that. So all the juniors this year who would have been looked at by certain colleges for whatever aren't getting those looks. So, and the colleges are in the same boat as well. I mean, all the spring sports in the colleges were all canceled as well. So everybody's all in the same situation. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens next year, with all these kids. So
Yeah.
In everything.
There's-
Really.
There's weird things happening. One of my neighbors works for UC Berkeley, and they have already announced that fall semester is going to be completely online. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that.
it's a strange thing going on right now with the entire, like, literally from kindergarten up to
Yeah.
graduate school. Just this
Yeah.
weird dynamic going on right now.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
my neighbor, she's in college, and she had an hour and a half window this past week that she was allowed to get into her dorm, get all of her stuff out of her dorm, and get everything out. She had 1 hour and a half. That was it.
Wow.
insane.
So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Get your
crazy
stuff back,
times.
get out.
Nothing to do with Star Wars though, but Banter, Beskar, and Bantamilk.
There you go. And you
That's
guys,
all over social media.
yeah, please follow the guys. They do a good job. Listen to the show. Subscribe to them. Do a little rating thing if you want. And what we're going to be doing, we're not, taking their feed or doing really much of anything, but I will be posting the shows on our website too. So if you go to our website and dig through our archives for whatever reason, you'll be able to find all the shows from last week moving forward too. So all the shows are kind of in one area, but definitely subscribe to them, like them, do all that kind of stuff, interact with them. They're good people. They put on a good show, and I'm happy to have them on. Whatever this is, I don't know if it's a network or
A network now.
They're turning it
Before
into
it is
that,
now.
man.
yeah, but it's really I'm just returning to my roots, where we're a collection of city-states. It really is what we're.
A feudal society of
Yeah.
podcasts. So
Yeah.
I have a
We
question.
appreciate it.
Okay.
So, because you said that it's not on the same feed, so that means that like if I were to subscribe, I have to subscribe to us separately from them, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just making sure I understood how this all works.
You got it.
Also, I have a quick statement.
Okay.
Episode 9 was trash. Let's move on.
Well, I'll tell you what,
I
Terrence.
had you on the show.
Go back
Yeah,
and
listen
listen.
to our last episode.
Yeah, please do that.
I watched it for the first time last night, and at one point I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm just done. This is horrible.
See, and I didn't mind it. So go back and listen to that episode, and then maybe we should have a follow-up.
Yeah.
Because a debriefing of sorts.
And I should say, if any of you have Star Wars opinions, you are welcome to join us on Bantha Milk Podcast. We are
Yeah,
happy
man.
to have you.
Yeah, I would
You
love
should
to
have-
get Terrence on
You
there.
should
for
have
sure.
me and Bev on.
There we go.
Just kidding.
And Jeremy.
We would
Jeremy
literally have
Hears it.
nothing to
Oh
say.
my god. Oh my god.
Not have 3 more people who cared.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to.
Jeremy is
Price
the
of admission
Titanic.
right there.
Yeah, I do want to get you guys on the Supreme Resort. Especially because you do have opinions, and I think that would be a fun place for you guys too. So.
Well, I was listening the first couple of episodes of the Supreme Resort when Jeremy was doing the Mandalorian Minute, which was awesome because it had nothing to do with the Mandalorian whatsoever. It was just whatever he knew about Star Wars, he was throwing into the Mandalorian
Yes.
Minute.
Because he didn't watch it.
He didn't watch it.
No.
With other things.
Yeah,
Oh,
he has
yeah.
no
He was
idea
talking
what's
about
going
Luke
on.
and Leia and all kinds of stuff.
Hey
Yeah.
man, it all interweaves.
You know what we should really do? We should do a big watch party where we all watch one of the Star Wars at the same time.
Yeah, I've thought about it. I want to do something. Jeremy and I have been sort of talking about something, maybe not Star Wars, but definitely some Disney thing or
Like a Mystery Science Theater sort of a thing.
Yeah.
do something.
Just
But then
like
I'm like,
tracks,
but then
yes.
we'd have to do write. We have to write for it, and
What do you? Well, no, I just
it'd be
mean
a whole
like
thing.
get on like this and watch it at the same time and
Yeah.
broadcast what we're saying.
No, I know what you
Oh.
mean, but in my mind, we would have to be more of a presentation than just like an. But that's why I
Yeah, and see,
Yeah.
I
I go too far sometimes.
Yeah. 'Cause
Anyway.
then okay.
We'll talk about it
I'm
later.
with you. See, that's
Yeah.
what the Bantha Milk's all about, man.
Hell yeah,
Banter.
Nick, Rob, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
having us.
Banter,
Thanks for
Beskar,
having me
and
here.
Bantha Milk.
Thanks for bringing us in.
Of course, yeah. Thank you. Go find them wherever you find podcasts. Listen to them, and get ready to hear more from the boys in the future.
Yes, indeed.
All right, we'll let you go.
Thank
Awesome.
y'all. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye, guys.
Have a good one.
Nice
Bye.
to meet
Bye.
you.
Welcome, Bev. Hi, Beverly. Welcome. Now Bev's muted or whatever.
I was muted. Hi.
Okay.
I like
Hi.
your shirt, Bev.
I'm a day drinker.
Are you on your microphone?
I am on my mic. Oh.
You don't need
I
the
am on my
screen, remember?
microphone.
You don't need your screen.
But I took the fuzzy thing off.
Oh.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Just making sure. Before we get to our, everything. We haven't really done anything.
Yeah.
I want to let you guys know, concierge. They're starting as Disney, World Disney parks are ramping up to open up here in the States. Concierge is getting back to work. They were doing a lot of bookings and stuff because I think Disney World was slated to open in June or something.
Yeah.
But I just got a note from Eric, our friend over at Concierge. He says Disney World and Disneyland guests with bookings between 5/31 and 6/6 are receiving letters about rebooking. So they're moving those back now. They're getting discounts if they book between July 1st and December 31st. So if you are getting bumped and you're basically if you were booked and then you get canceled, if you rebook before the end of the year, for Disneyland you can get $50 per night resort credit and 35% off rooms between July 1st and October 3rd. There's a lot of dates going on, but only if you rebook. Yeah, I know, right? So they're really, really encouraging people to just stay with them. Don't cancel entirely. Plan on coming back. Here's a bunch of discounts.
That's great.
35% off rooms.
That's good.
It's not bad.
Wow.
It's unheard of.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But definitely check them out, concierge.com. They're all over social. Ask them questions. Send them emails. They would love to help you out and feel comfortable going back to the parks. You know, we're going to talk a little bit in Disney News about Shanghai being opened.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I've seen some of the pictures of like how they're doing social distancing and like no one pays attention to anything. And so it makes me a little nervous, but that's fine. We'll talk about that in the news.
Good.
Do you want to do we have feedback at all?
We do. We have a great one.
Okay, let's do some feedback. Hopefully Miles can hang on for a sec.
This is from Mark. So the other night,
hi, Mark.
So the other night, my wife and I were sitting around, excitedly planning our first trip to Walt Disney World. We had just booked our Port Orleans hotel using some Expedia points when my phone chimes and says, "Hey, listen to EarzUp, In-Depth Live." So we did. I volunteered our new vacation purchase into the chat, which I assumed was a safe space, and was immediately berated by the host.
Yeah, the chat is never a safe space, sorry.
Well, that jerk's words were still rattling around in my head when we discovered we could not book a dining package through Expedia. So we called Concierge. And lo and behold, they saved us over $500.
Wow.
How? That's what I want to know.
We were able to rebook our hotel, keep our fast passes and current plans. Plus, now we have all those Expedia points to spend on other Florida excursions.
Wow.
Concierge has been great. Thanks, Jason. Fingers crossed, Florida is open.
Yeah, that was me harassing him on our last in-depth. But, I'm glad I did.
He has a PS.
Oh, okay.
This is for Jeremy. He says if he ends up being in Disney World at the same time as Jeremy, we will kick one of our kids out of the Rose and Crown and make room for him to buy him a drink.
That's nice.
And you know what? That's a solid choice.
I would love to be on that level
yeah.
where you kicked one of your family members out to invite me in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jeremy's a fun guy to have a drink with, so.
That's true. So thank you, Concierge.
Yeah. Good job.
We're just going to get to Miles here. I'll skip a bunch of our feedback, but I do want to say, if you go to etsy.com/shop/covears, which I should really change that shop name. I say that every time. I've put up all of the T-shirts that are in our back inventory. So all the churro shirts, all the skull and cross churro shirts, all of our shirts
Cool.
are up on Etsy, because why not?
Yep.
I also found out the hard way that our printer is delaying. It takes 20 to 28 days right now for them to print a T-shirt.
Yeesh.
Right. So like our friend Lindsay, I say our friend, I've never met her, but she's a listener, and she paid for a thing. She's like, "Hey, where's my shirt? I ordered on April 28th," and I'm like, "Oh, let me see." Being processed. I'm like, "Oh, that's." Okay, so it's going to take a little bit longer, but I feel like everybody knows that now, or at least everyone's okay with it once you find that out. So
It's okay if
we'll find it. It'll
you
be
get
fine.
information, yeah.
Exactly
It's
right.
good.
And I didn't know, so
Yeah, sure.
that's my fault. And I guess I should put that up on Etsy. But anyway, I digress. Go to etsy.com/shop/covears. Support the show by buying merch and getting really cool. All right, Miles, are you there, my friend?
I am.
Welcome back, dude.
Thank you.
How are you?
It's been a while.
It has been a while. You've been doing good? You've been modeling at Disney? You've been doing fashion cover shoots? Or
Your episode.
This is what I tell everybody.
But you tell everybody that you're a Disney model?
you know how many people have tagged me and they're posting pictures of their kids in like Frozen outfits and like modeling Disney and it's hashtag this and that. It's like free move.
That's awkward.
Super cute kids, but they're really like, get my kid to Disney. I want to cash in big time.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I feel like it's a weird hashtag. I mean, it makes sense for you because you're literally modeling Disney.
Yeah.
But
I question it every day. I get emails from people. They're like, hey, you must be a Disney employee. I want my kid to model for you. What do I do? I'm like, not an employee.
like, they don't look at your feed?
Nope.
Wow.
You know, little kids in like Indonesia. Hey, what's up? My kid.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Sorry. I'm gonna break your heart.
Yeah, you're a dream crusher, dude. How dare you? How dare you? Give them a modeling contract. Like, if you were a Spire or some lattice work, we could definitely work together
I'm
on
gonna
that.
get my 2 girls in that before I get them in that.
Wow.
That's right. So
Anyway.
we're going to chat with you about the Disney Vacation Club.
Yeah. You guys got at me when I was headed to Alani.
Yes. Well, because you're the only person I've ever known that's actually in it, and I'm just so curious about the whole process and what it all means. But I don't want to talk to the people at Downtown Disney about it, so I'd rather talk.
Can
to
I say something real quick?
Sure.
So the first time I saw that, I saw the DVC thing in Downtown Disney.
Yeah.
I remember being like, that's really weird because I went to college there. And
That's
I was
right.
like, oh, not Diablo
Yeah.
Valley College.
Oh, for sure. Same.
Club. Okay. All right. It's a difference.
Yeah, it is the difference. All right, Miles. Well, let's jump in. What is the Disney Vacation Club, and why should they deserve my money?
Okay. This is as simple as complicated as you want it to be. I'm going to try to balance between the two and not
Okay.
sound like a pitch man, but I'm putting on my thinking hat.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Way to model.
Right. So I did the same thing. I'm walking by every park I go to, right? Every park. And I'm seeing those guys, and the one thing they're not doing is they're not trying to pitch me. They're not like, the salesman, the carny, hey, step on up. So, it's a slick looking sale, and I've never wanted to own a timeshare. Nobody really wants to own a timeshare in the traditional sense, right?
Right.
We've
And
all heard horror stories.
exactly. In my opinion, like the hierarchy of things you don't want to own, like at the bottom is condos, and then it's timeshares, and then it's
A boat.
a boat. There you go. Then it's a dog, and then it's a
Cool.
child. So
These
like
are all
those
things I want to own, actually.
Yeah, I know. Same.
but as far as being worth your money or whatever, but that's also very 80s thinking, and it sounds like the timeshares have maybe changed a little bit.
I know people who have a timeshare in Mexico, like 80 grand value, and they've never been once.
What?
Oh.
Is it a tax write-off, or they're just that loaded where they don't care?
They
Are they
said
really
that it's like trying to get tickets to, I don't know, Dave Matthews. I'm just whatever, right? They call
Nice.
at 12:01 a.m. the day that they're allowed to book, and it's already beep, beep.
Oh,
Wow.
This is not that bad.
Okay.
DVC is easier to get into, but let's so I got some notes here. Let's see.
Perfect.
All right, here's my 30-second pitch, right? I'm not trying to sound like a pitch man, but this is kind of the way when people ask.
Yeah.
This is the way I throw it out there.
well, yeah.
The Disney company has built 15 resort expansions onto existing resorts or standalone resorts specifically for DVC members since 1991. The DVC works very much like a traditional timeshare, but it has a lot more pros than cons, because you hear nothing but cons about traditional timeshare. Rooms range from something that you would stay at just like a studio where it's a regular hotel room, up to a 5-bedroom master suite that I was lucky enough to tour at Alani, which is
Wow.
just to die for. Like, it's amazing. But the thing that sets DVC apart is points. Instead of a traditional timeshare where you have a set week and you're competing for that week and that's your only choice, this is based on points. That's the 30-second pitch. Now, unless you have any questions right there, there's a glossary. Again, not too complicated, but there's some words I'm going to throw at you in the next few minutes, and I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page.
All right, let's go. Man, it's like we're in school.
Yeah.
Terrence
Exactly.
Terrence is so excited right now.
keep me focused, Terrence.
Push a little bit.
And then
Push a little bit.
I'll talk to you about my experience. I'm a West Coast guy, right? Like you guys are, but I bought into DVC back in Florida on one of my trips. It had to do with alcohol and me drinking too much and making what could have been a poor decision. I think it turned out fine. So here's the real quick rundown of terms.
Right.
And if I say associate, and that's someone who might be either a relative or a friend who can use your account and book a vacation through your DVC account.
Wow. And I like that. I like that language because it automatically makes you part of the thing. And I guarantee you that wasn't chosen randomly, right? Oh, you're an associate. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Come on. And you're not just a friend or a family member. No. You're an associate.
Hey, I think DVC is about spreading the love. I'm not always going to be able to use my points, and I want everyone around me to be able to benefit. So banking and borrowing are two words you're going to hear a lot. Banking, and these have to do with the points. You can actually take points from last year, this year, and the next year and use them all in one big pile to do like an epic vacation.
You can get an advance on your points?
Dang.
Exactly.
Wow.
And if you are about to lose points, if they're about to expire, you can save them so that they don't expire, which is nice.
Then what's the point of expiring?
Yeah, what?
I'm going to go into that.
Okay.
The underlying thing here is, of course, Disney wants you to just rock this and have a great time.
Yeah.
But they also are running like this side business that's a timeshare business. And everybody can't just go crazy with no rules. The rules are there so that the whole thing flows well for everybody.
Okay.
The point systems are like all the points that everybody has and uses are like an economy. You can't just backlog a ton of points. If everybody did that, then it would screw up the whole system down the road.
Right. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Contracts and memberships. You can have a membership with multiple contracts, and we'll talk about contracts. Contracts are a set number of specific home resorts, but you can use your points for any resort that Disney has DVC for. Your home resort is really where you buy into originally, and you get special preference there. Mine happens to be Copper Creek at Wilderness Lodge, which is just a gorgeous place. You really want to buy where you want to stay most. And then this one's a little tricky one. It's called right of first refusal. Without making it too complicated, Disney has the right, if you're trying to sell your contract, they have the right to come in and buy it so that you don't try and lowball the price. They're trying to maintain the general value for this entire program. So Disney can come in and say, we're going to buy it before you get to sell it to anybody else. And then there's use year.
Okay.
And the use year really is just kind of when your points expire and when you get your new set of points.
Okay. Terrence and Bev, I just emailed you the notes that Miles sent to me and Taryn, so you guys can sort of follow along and
Okay.
it's a little bit easier to understand, because already I'm like, I don't understand. But I'm hoping, I'm positive that I will after this.
This is what I do for work, so I'm like, I know right of first refusal. It's easy peasy.
It's like going to prom. Like, no, I don't want to go with you.
Bro.
What? Yeah, and right of first refusal is the most complicated of all the terms. It's an easy one. It's just, they just want to make sure, Disney wants to make sure that you're not selling the contracts too low. It devalues the whole system.
But
most people don't.
Yeah, I'm sure they won't step in if it's too high.
Right. Go for it, please.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So I know, like, I at least I think I generally know your audience, and maybe Jeremy's helped pull in people, East Coasters. When you guys started, the focus really was California Adventure and Disneyland and the Disney Resort. But for those of you who have been to Florida, it is literally a whole new world over there. And that's why there are so many podcasts based on Disney World, is because, you guys have done a good job of not running out of ideas for Disneyland. Disney World is just, it's ridiculous. So I'm going to give you just a brief history here. This just gives you an idea that Disney is in it to win it. Just like with the cruise line, right? They create a standalone resort or an addition to an existing resort for DVC on an average of every 2 to 3 years. And they're just, Corona screwed everything up, but they had a plan for a new one in 2022. I think the Disney Hotel villas were on track for like 2025-ish, but who knows now. So this all started in 1991, and you could buy in cheap. And if you had the right frame of mind, if you just trusted Disney like we do with a lot of things, you could have got a crazy good deal. And one of the benefits in my next part of the pitch is you're trying to hedge inflation a bit. What you're trying to do is lock in value now, because we all know that I shouldn't say ticket prices because they're not included, but everything Disney does goes up every year, at least once a year, on average,
Definitely.
right? We're always paying more for everything.
Okay. All right.
So this is kind of a way to say, man, I love those prices I paid this year. I didn't love them, but I don't want to pay prices in 20 years. They're going to be 3 times that amount.
Right.
And I had a couple of...
Get in now because it's never going to be this cheap.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Starting in 91, they started with Old Key West, which is a beautiful resort. That was the very first resort to get into. For a few years, they didn't have much else. But they filled up pretty fast. This is one of those things, just like with Disney Plus. They exceeded expectations, and it's just been gangbusters ever since. Boardwalk Villas came in 95, and then Vero Beach, which is on the coast of Florida, the first resort away from a Disney park, and then Hilton Head, South Carolina came next. And then they started with Wilderness Lodge. They added the first set of villas there, and that Wilderness Lodge is the first resort that actually has 2 separate DVC areas to it, which is really fun. If you ever get a chance to stay at Wilderness Lodge, is the cheapest of the deluxe resorts. I think I paid $320, $350 for a view of the Magic Kingdom fireworks, and I got that randomly, and it was the best money that I spent. My daughter was so crazy, and you take a boat right to the front gate of Magic Kingdom. So
Nice.
That's awesome.
and then as I worked down the list, 2002 Beach Club, 2004 Saratoga Springs, 2007 Animal Kingdom Villas were an add-on. The Bay Lake Tower at the Contemporary in 2009, which is the closest resort, part of a resort next to the Magic Kingdom. It is in the backyard of Tomorrowland. It is ridiculous. And then the Treehouse Villas, which are a standalone, which you put like 12 people in there. You put a good extended family in there. And then the Grand California Villas in California, obviously. Then Alani in 2011. Grand Floridian Villas in 2013. The Polynesian Villas. And, they put those bungalows on the water.
Yeah.
Which the price on those are just...
It's insane.
Thousands a night. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Copper Creek, which is what I'm in, that came in 2017. So I got in pretty quick there. And then Riviera, which is the most recent standalone, the Riviera, kind of the French Riviera look that's right on the Skyliner transportation system that opened up last year. And then Reflections is where River Country Water Park used to be. That's hopefully on track for 2022, probably put off another year. And then Disneyland Hotel, which is hopefully doesn't get killed like that last fiasco.
Right. It's funny, like looking at the timeline, you can definitely tell when they realized this caught fire, right? Because it's 91, nothing happened to 95, and then after 95, 96, then it's 2000, but then it's 2002, 2004, 2007, 2009, 2011, 2013. Like they did not slow down.
Yeah. I think this is a good time to kind of throw in, you tell me how we're doing on time, but I'm going to throw in my experience.
We got all night, baby.
Perfect. And I got more beer. So like you all, I was walking by those little kiosks. They're not pitching to me. And I'm like most of us, I'm used to being pitched. I got somebody in my face trying to reel me in. And I started becoming interested, I think, during my 2017 trip to Disney World. And then I'd see them there in downtown Disney.
It is
and
sort
finally,
of... It's sort of that way where the less you try to get in my face about stuff, the more I become interested.
Exactly.
They're definitely intriguing.
Especially with sales and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right? Where like, oh, you're recognizing my autonomy as a person and you don't want to get in my face. And you look really pleasant and happy to see everybody. I might... No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go buy a churro instead.
Well, and I think it's also part of the, like, you want what you, like, can't have in a way where it's like, like that's not the right term. That's not what I meant. But, like, they aren't trying to get you. So you're kind of like, oh, Well, maybe I do want.
What's wrong with me? Do I not
You don't
look?
want me?
Yeah. Do I not look
Well,
like I
think
can afford it?
you.
Yeah.
Like they're playing hard to get.
Yeah.
That's what I was going for.
You're saying I can't afford this? Well, I'll show you.
Yeah.
I will mortgage my house to do
Tell
this.
me all about this.
That's right.
Yep. Total reverse psychology, and I was already thinking, wow, I spend a lot of money. I give Disney a lot of my money.
Yeah.
Maybe I should figure out a way to ease that, because if I'm going to buy into anything, I don't buy fancy cars, I don't buy boats, I got a decent house. If I'm going to spend my money on something, these are memories for me and my kids. Sure, Disney's going to sucker me into this, and if you keep feeding me the happy memories, yeah, let's do it. So I had quite a bit to drink with Jeremy, of all people. So
how did I know this had to do with Jeremy?
You should totally do it. You should do it. Just do it. Oh my God, do it.
Yeah. He said, you should go to this show at Fort Wilderness Campground, and it's all you can drink. And I said,
what?
With you? Yeah. So we went to, and it's one of those slapsticks. It's like going to the Golden Horseshoe Review, where it's like, here's all the chili and cornbread you can eat, and all the drinks you can have, a lot of Yuengling, and it's all slapstick Western comedy routine.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And
then we took the boat around the corner to our first night at Wilderness Lodge, and my wife is standing there taking care of the business at the desk because I'm just slurring my words. No. And I take my daughter over to this guy. Of course, this guy's like, "Oh, you have a beautiful daughter. Oh, she's so hello, princess." You know how they say it.
She should model for Disney. Use the hashtag modeling Disney.
Yes. And he's a salesperson, and I'm like, okay, just give it to me, all right? And I'm one of those guys that I'll just, if it may sound rude, but I'll just interject if I'm like, hey, this sounds kind of like bullshit, man. Don't just sell me, like, make me believe it. The next thing I knew, my wife came over. She's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Yeah, we have a meeting tomorrow. We're going to spend about an hour and a half in doing that." Oh, God. We weren't going to one of the parks, right? She's like, "Yeah, we're supposed to go to Epcot at 9 a.m. Oh, well.
Oh, wow. You cut your Epcot day short.
And that's the other thing about these kiosks, is that I don't want to waste time. And I think that's more of it than anything.
For sure. That's
and
why I asked Miles on here.
Yeah, so right, they know all this. It's Disney. They're smart people. So they're like, listen, it's going to take you about an hour to do the tour and listen to our pitch. You walk away. We know we've taken part of your day. You're going to miss some stuff. Where were you going today? Here's a ton of fast passes. We're just going to load up your Magic Band with fast passes.
Wow.
And we're going to take a private van and drop you off right at the front gate.
Oh.
And so all that time you spent traveling and all that, and we're going to get you right in, and hopefully all those fast passes will make up for the hour and a half you spent touring.
Forget about it.
Awesome.
That actually makes perfect sense, and I never even
just do it over and over again. Do it like 12 times.
That's what a lot of people do. Like when they do the timeshare things. My parents have done a couple of them. You just sit in the room for an hour, and then you get your like Vegas hotel for free or whatever. I don't know.
I had a feeling, unless this was ridiculously out of my price range, and I knew it would be something over time, right? I'm not going to walk in and write them a check for a 5-figure amount. Otherwise, I just invest in stocks or something. But I had a good feeling already that I was just going to do this, as long as Katie agreed. So we show up that morning at Wilderness Lodge. We're there all ready for breakfast and walk in, and we do the tour, and the rooms. I didn't think our room could get any better than the one we had as a regular paying customer. But the DVC rooms starting at a studio, they're just gorgeous. And as soon as you move up to a 1-bedroom, you're getting your washer, dryer, full kitchen. So you have the refrigerator and the sink and everything to make maybe life a little easier with your family, save some money on the crazy food prices. But the tour was fantastic. And he said, "I don't want you to be that person that goes home tomorrow and says, 'Oh, hey, I'll go think about it,' and I never hear from you again." He's like, "Just see me tomorrow. At least give me a chance tomorrow." So it really took us, I think it only took us 24 hours to figure this out.
Huh.
Okay.
So was it just you on the tour, or was it like a group?
Nope, it was my wife Katie and Clara, and Clara was, it was all Disney stuff everywhere, and they're treating her like a princess. They've got a special iPad for her, and they've plastered her with stickers and chocolate milk and all that. And
Damn.
he's like, "Daddy, this is great. Where's the checkbook?" So, let me move on real quick to the 90-second pitch. If this just expands on the 30-second pitch, right?
Okay.
Sure.
I've already said this is not your grandma's timeshare. You temporarily, and I say this because when this thing expires, your ownership, it goes back to Disney. Whereas, if I'm not mistaken, a timeshare, as long as you're paying, you keep that until,
Forever.
your hotel falls into the ocean, whatever.
So it's a 50-year limit, no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
You temporarily, most of the time for 50 years, going forward from the mid-2000s, it was 50 years. Depending on when you buy in. But if you were to get there on day one of a brand new resort like Riviera or Reflections, 50 years for this. So you're going to will this to your kids or transfer it to your relatives, or you own a piece of Disney property, like 2 square inches of carpet in room X, whatever. But the point is you own a little piece of Disney, and they really make you feel like you're part of a secret club, the way that they talk to you and the way you have extra perks. Private pools, discounts everywhere you go, whether it's on meals or shopping. Special events, kind of not quite after hours, but let's shut down the park early just for DVC people to wander Epcot or Magic Kingdom. Private lounges where you can go, free drinks and snacks anytime you just flash your badge and whatever, get into lounges inside the parks. And then, of course, that slight hedge on inflation.
Oh.
Karen?
I said in the parks?
Yes, the lounges are in the parks.
Oh,
so
wow.
you're kind of waving down at people that don't have access.
Cool.
Again, so this is point-based, and that's really kind of the way this is different than the regular timeshare. So you're allotted a certain number of points. You start at a minimum of 100 points, and it just depends on what you think you can afford, how often you're going to visit the parks, what kind of rooms you want to have, what time of year you want to go, those types of things. And again, you can borrow from the future or add points that you haven't used from the past. Points can even be used on Disney cruises and Adventures by Disney. Everyone know what Adventures by Disney is?
Yeah, they're non-park trips, adventures. But like in Europe, right? Like they have things that are not Disney, they're not parks, but it's put on by Disney.
Exactly. The caveat is, even though, and that sounds great, points. Now, I've always wanted to go on a cruise, I'll just use my points. They're a horrible value. So this is one of the cons, but you can use it. And if anyone is familiar with RCI is one of the biggest timeshare companies in the world. They have 4,300 locations in like every country in the world, Afghanistan, whatever. You can use your points through RCI.
I like all the countries that you could pick from. You picked
Afghanistan.
The one that
If you really wanted to
could
go.
never catch me in a million trillion years. I'd rather go to China than Afghanistan.
And I guess so. That's really my pitch. And now it comes down to you need to ask yourself these questions. This is when you huddle in the corner with your significant other.
Yeah.
Don't let the salesman listen to you. The questions you got to ask yourself. Right? Ready?
Yep. Let's go.
Okay, and this is different. This is fun because for you guys, you're all a little bit different. How often do you currently visit a Disney property? Does it include plans to go to, even overseas? But
currently changes right now. But if we were like free to go do, I would say 3 times a year.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Bev and Terrence, you guys have not been to Florida, right?
No.
I just muted myself. Correct. I thought I was muted, but never mind.
Yeah. No, that's a good explanation.
So if either of you are thinking about DVC, you need to factor in Florida. That changes the dynamic of everything. That's like it opens up a whole new world.
What do you mean? Or will you get to that later?
Yeah. No. What I mean. Right now, there is a single DVC property. That's the Grand Californian.
Okay. Oh, right.
In California, right?
Yeah.
Everything else, besides Alani, right? Everything else is on the East Coast.
So is
one in
it
South
hard
Carolina,
to book?
one on the coast of Florida, and then the other 11 or 12 are right on property.
Okay.
Wow.
So,
So
that's and the headquarters there are in Celebration, the little town south of property.
Yeah.
So that Florida makes a big difference. So if Florida is not something you can do every 3 years, and the rest of the time you're doing either Alani or Grand Californian or Disney Hotel and it opens up, maybe not for you.
Gotcha.
If right now you're only going to a Disney property every 2 years, 3 years, can you kick that up to at least once a year? And if you can't, it's probably not for you.
So that's the bottom line is, can you go once a year to any Disney property?
Yes, there's a way to do it. There's absolutely a way to do it. Now, if you're like, listen, I'm joining this thing. I'm only buying in for 100 points, but I want to stay at the Grand Floridian every time I go once a year. It's probably not going to work out for you.
Okay.
You need to be a little. Hopefully, you're a little flexible with your time. So if you, everyone has kids now. I'm willing to take Claire and Olivia out of school when they get to that point at any time of year and just make it up on my own. But we love January. January works really nice. It's right after the holidays, but it's before it gets crazy for spring break. It's a sweet spot for the cost. So
and I've before we had a kid, I would always go, man, who takes their kid out of school to go to Disneyland? Like what is? And then now that we have a kid, I'm like, I cannot wait, because I also sort of can see the value of necessarily not being in the school system all the time. You know what I mean? Some of that like positive personality building of allowing them to come out of school and to go do something, elitist that their friends can't do. There's the value in that. No, but absolutely, I would definitely pull Alice out of school.
Yeah.
100%. Anytime. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's just going to make this thing work to your advantage so much better. The next set of questions are: if you're a solo traveler, which I don't think any of you are,
No, I wish.
or with just a partner, if you're a family traveler, you need it. If you are a solo traveler or with just your partner, are you really looking at staying at value resorts the whole time? Because the next part of this question is: how do you travel? Do you travel by yourself, with one other person, with a family of 3, 4, 5, or with an extended family?
Okay.
Right? You're taking your grandpa, taking your brothers,
gotcha.
Whatever. And then the next part of that is, when you go now, are you staying at value resorts? Are you staying at moderates? Are you staying at deluxes? And if you buy into this, are you willing to say, okay, I'm done with the value unless I'm going to pay cash. It's time to go big. Daddy's rolling big.
100%.
We're going to the
Yeah,
right?
and we were, when we first started the show, you could catch us at the Super 8 for sure, 100%, $79 a night, and where you're sleeping on bricks, and and you're walking on carpet that's literally not padded; it's just on the concrete.
Oh yeah.
But now I'm willing to go less often, so to spend more money at a resort hotel. Like, I don't even like the Good Neighbor hotels anymore. It's just a pain in the ass. Get me on property or catch me at Universal.
And when it comes to Disney World, I'm sorry, but like that bus system, I am not trying to stay at any budget hotel.
No.
If I'm going to make the trip out to Florida and I'm going to be in Florida, I am going to make the most of that trip.
Yeah, for sure.
This was a chance for my cheap self to finally say, you know what? I don't feel like I'm spending the money of the deluxe resorts or the monorail line resorts. I'm willing now to stay at anything, no matter what. Like, Alani is expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a DVC band on every single day to go into the pool, and I'm looking around at all the people that don't have them. I'm thinking, how do you afford this? I think the minimum cost of our room was $800. When we looked at extending our stay, paying cash was like $1,100 a night.
Wow.
Without DVC, no
insane.
way.
Wow.
Impossible. Impossible.
That's insane.
So whether or not this is tricking you,
I could never justify that. I could never do that.
I've done the math the best I can in my head. You need to take away those things. My dad keeps saying, well, what if you just taken all this money you'd spend on this and put it in the stock market?
Yes,
Dad,
that's
I don't
the way
have
I
that kind
think.
of coin. I get to pay this out over how many years. It at least makes me feel better. You need to take that stuff and just say, forget it, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to buy a house with cash straight up. So
Exactly.
It's true.
Yeah, and that's my problem kind of in life in general, one of my problems, I should say, where I'm always going, well, what else can I do with this money? Instead of like we were talking about putting in a pool at our house. And I'm like, but what if we took that money and bought another car or put it to retirement or did something, paid down our house, manage your money a little bit differently than this frivolous thing. And it sounds like that's kind of what your dad is going on too, where it's like, why don't you just not do this and invest in your future? But you're saying, I don't care, or my future's fine and I'm sort of living for the moment at the same time.
my dad knows better than to talk me out of anything.
Because I will give him one right across the face.
You guys probably have friends that just don't understand. They don't get the Disney thing.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I ask myself daily, why did I just spend 10 hours watching YouTube videos on Disney, spending time modeling 3D models of Disney, and then thinking about our next vacation every single day? You know what? It makes me happy. And that value right there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's all my daughter talks about. That doesn't mean I'm not going to try and take her to Europe one day or go to the Grand Canyon or go camping. It just means that Disney really is kind of the base of what makes our memories here. So.
Mm-hmm.
No, and that's a really valid point, because that I feel the same way with us. I feel the same way about, even Jason and I, the first time we met, my dad knew Jason before I did. And he was like, if you run out of things to talk about, you guys both really like Disneyland. And it's like, it's that core of I hate to say life, but like it kind of is. It's like that thing that is always going to make you happy no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And there is value in that. Definitely.
Yep. Yeah, but can I retire on those feelings?
You can't, but you can go to a Disney resort when you retire.
That's true.
With all your points.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. So value resorts, no.
No.
Yeah, so think about, and there are no DVC options at value resorts. So those are cash only, and there's nothing wrong with doing, like, let's say you can't find a way to book your entire vacation at a DVC. That is possible. Like Art of Animation is a value resort, and Art of Animation is a fantastic value resort. It is so good. It was like $150 a night on property, fantastic, and now it's on the Skyliner. That's golden.
Wow.
So split your vacation, do an eight night or whatever, and do 4 or 5 at your DVC points, and do cash at a value. Sometimes you get $90 rooms on property. That's what Florida offers. So
you're saying cash, but you don't necessarily mean cash. You mean non-points.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. When I say cash, and I'm going to use that because you can actually, people from outside DVC can actually rent, quote unquote. And when I say cash, I just mean you're not using points to set up your vacation.
Okay. That's what I thought. I just wanted to clarify, because there's no way in hell Disney is not going to let you pay with a credit card or a check or a money order or anything like that.
Exactly.
Do you, as a DVC member, do you get any sort of discounts on hotels, just a regular cash hotel?
I don't think so. There are plenty of things that I can be wrong about on this. That may be one of them. I don't. Once you're at that level where you're looking at the Grand Californian, the Grand Floridian, the Polynesian, the Contemporary, thinking back down to value, and I'm going to stay at the All-Star Sports Resort, and it's $90 a night, and I'm like, I don't even know if I need a discount. I'm not trying to be.
That's true.
I'm not trying to be a jerk about. My thoughts right now are like, okay, I get 175 points every August. How am I going to work this? I'm going to work the system. It's not hard work. I want to make that point. I almost find it fun to try and work my points and work the system the best way I can.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That would be me.
Here's a question.
Like I said, okay.
That might be obvious, but this does not include park admission. You're on your own.
Exactly. It used to. So this is fun.
Okay, good.
Of course it did.
I thought I heard this this past year, and then I read it last night that when you originally bought in, like Old Key West is a good example. Every time you wanted to go, when you got your vacation booked, whatever room size you booked, whatever its occupancy was, you got half of that occupancy worth of tickets. So if you had a room that could hold 8 people, you got 4 tickets for the parks.
Wow.
Yeah. And the system is, the DVC has grown so large, they can't even possibly. You do get discounts on annual passes.
Oh,
that's good.
Interesting.
What's the discount on that?
I don't remember, but remind me, do you guys still get annual passes?
No.
Because you were on and off again.
We're off at the moment.
Yeah, we're off at the moment.
Yeah, and I don't even get down. I only get down for the Christmas
the candlelight. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the candlelight.
Oh, I'm in DVC and I go to the Candlelight Professional. It's fine.
Yeah, I haven't needed a park ticket for Disneyland in years. So.
Shut up, Miles.
Click.
Yeah.
So okay, let me work through these questions real quick.
Yeah.
And I'll get to the fun details. I think this is going to be more fun when we talk about how you can decide what points, and then I can tell you some crazy examples of guys that went nuts. So having a kitchen, multiple bedrooms, and a washer and dryer at Alani, that was my first time. Not just at Alani, but having those amenities, that changed the way I vacationed. Like Katie packed half of what she thought she needed, and that was half too much. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She needed a quarter to a third of what you would need on a long vacation. We just kept doing laundry. We just leave, go down to the pool. Laundry's done when you come back.
How long were you there?
Our usual kind of 7 nights, 8 days type
Okay.
thing.
Okay. That would have been really great when we went to Disney World, because I hadn't fully understood the value of ankle socks at the time.
Yes.
Apparently the lower half of my legs get extraordinarily hot wearing normal crew socks or whatever, below the calf. So I bought a 2-pack of $20
Oh god.
friggin' ankle socks, and I just washed those MFers in the sink, man.
Yeah.
And just let them dry, and had to rotate them because it was so hot. But they couldn't dry because it
They
was
were
so
thick.
humid. No, it was so humid.
Oh,
Also,
yeah.
they weren't dry by the next day. I didn't know what to do. I had to I think I
And
put them over the blow dryer like a condom, and then just had the thing on and kind of I remember doing that. So a washer dryer would be amazing.
Yeah, and for Terrence and Bev, who haven't been, I don't know if they've been to Florida on vacation without Disney, but you just sweating through your clothes like a pig. It's nonstop. So
Yeah.
except in January.
Yeah.
I go in January.
That's right. I've been to Tallahassee, and that was enough for me.
Yeah, and I'm betting you probably went either late spring, summer, or early fall. Probably wasn't a winter trip.
Yeah, it was in October, actually. Yeah.
That's not bad. It can still be sweltering. But yeah, I mean, Florida is fantastic for 3 months of the year, and then the rest is you just be.
The rest is
Disney
Florida.
does it best. Right? It's called covered queues, right? That's what makes a big difference.
Yeah, for sure.
And then my last 2 questions: are you willing to make a monthly and yearly payment to Disney? Okay, think about owning a house, right? Assuming you haven't bought a house for cash, right? You're paying a monthly payment for your mortgage, and then at the end of the year, you pay 1 property tax. It's the same type of thing.
Okay. I see.
You can finance through Disney. That's exactly what we did. And if the rate ends up being better, we've been in DVC for a full year. We'll just move it over to our credit union and cut that rate in half or whatever. It's not a big deal.
So you can refinance your DVC?
As long as I'm not wrong about this, it's just like any other loan.
Okay.
We can move it to any financial institution. There's no penalty for taking it away from Disney. They just
Interesting.
offer financing, kind of like a car lot.
Like a car. Okay, I see.
Yep. And then this is the last question is, are you flexible? Do you only go on vacation during spring break and summer because that's when the kids are out of school, or
Gross.
because of your
Heck
work?
no.
Like if you're a teacher, right?
Yeah.
That makes it very difficult
Yeah,
to
that's true.
just take off whenever. Okay. That is the end of my questions for you that you ask yourself.
Interesting.
Okay.
Now, what that means is if you can't commit to a Disney trip, a minimum of once every 18 months, best at a year or every 6 months.
Okay.
Or if you're not excited about moving up to a deluxe and blowing your points on a deluxe, really think about this. So for everybody else, it's fun and fantastic. I used to think about DVC as you're just taking up space that you could do more stuff with the park, or you're spending money I don't want you to spend. Why do they keep building these stupid DVC things? Just build more cool hotels for people like us.
Right.
And now I'm in DVC and I'm like, whatever, I love it. Build more.
You love it. It's a good. You find the value in it.
Because I'm in the secret club, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that really what it is more about than the actual, like, look, you can do your laundry anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, who cares if you have to carry another suitcase? Like, that doesn't bother me. But I am sort of a sucker when it comes to feeling like I'm special.
No. Disney knows that value. It's the same reason every single person, it could be the person picking up the trash in the parks, every person calls my daughter princess. The value in something like that, my daughter just giggles every time.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's definitely part of it. I joke about the secret club thing, right? There's probably 100,000 people or more in this damn club, so it doesn't really.
So at
The secret club with kiosks.
Right?
at the DVC resorts, is it like a hotel? Is there housekeeping? Is there things like that, or is it more like an apartment?
Karen, thank you for picking up on I think it's a very small detail. It doesn't matter to me. It matters, but it doesn't matter, if that makes sense. And that is housekeeping. When you're staying DVC, there's not everyday housekeeping.
Okay.
Now, I'm the type of guy who just puts my towel over at home, I do the same thing, right? How often do you wash towels at home? You don't wash them every day?
I don't think
Literally, I never have.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever washed towels ever. We just keep buying new ones. We throw them out. We buy new ones.
They will do, I think they come in every 4 days to do trash pickup. So you get pretty loaded on trash. If you're doing, at Alani, we did a lot of meals in the room because Alani's pricey as far as food. So we did a lot of meals in the room and we built up that trash. We put the trash outside in the hallway and they pick it up for sure, right? They don't want a bag of trash sitting out there. So that's easy. But they didn't come in and clean up our room except once during the 8-day stay.
Okay.
And I have no problem with that. I don't care if they ever come in. I get messy when I'm in my hotel room. It's like a bachelor party. There's stuff everywhere.
Yeah, same, dude. Yeah, 100%. I've only recently started putting my clothes, and I mean like the last 2 years, in the like drawers. And like hanging my shirts up and hanging my pants up and stuff like that. Because it's just, otherwise I'll live out of the suitcase, and Bev knows. She's lived with me a couple times. It just stay in the suitcase. Like, who cares? It's easier to clean up that way. But you also don't ever really get relaxed.
But you do it when we're staying for like 1 day. And I'm like,
well, yeah, because now it's just a thing. It's
Now
like
it's
a
a
way
thing.
to sort of like get acclimated.
okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
And I'm not nearly as messy as I was without kids, right? If you're messy with kids who are messy, it's even worse. So try to change my ways. But yeah, the housekeeping thing is not a big deal for me. But they keep putting that. They want to make sure that some people are really picky. I want brand new towels, change my bed, and everything, wipe down my whole place every single day. If you have a problem with that, you can actually pay to have them come every single day.
Okay.
That's not me. I don't.
Okay.
Got better things to spend my money on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So,
Like
so
points.
here's kind of how points go, right? So your initial buy-in it's different. It was different for me. It'd be different for you. It'd be different for the next person because it changes it about once a year, I think. Right now, it's 100-point minimum buy-in.
Okay.
The maximum, I'm having a hard time believing this, but the maximum is 8,000 points at $193 a point.
Wow.
So you can do that math. I bought 180 points. I'm sorry. I paid $180 a point. The minimum was 75 at that time. So I bought 175 points. So I knew that I was going to need. Yeah.
Wow.
If it's 8,000 points at $193, that's $1.5 million.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's
that can't be true.
Some people max out, and that 8,000 8,000 points is across all your contracts. You can buy at multiple places, and there's a reason for that. I'll tell you. Yeah, it gets crazy. There's a guy. Do you guys know the Diz Unplugged?
Heard of it.
Sounds familiar, but I don't know.
So Pete, the guy that runs that organization, he also runs like a travel agency. He has 5,000 points currently, and he has 4 or 5 contracts. Dude has spent a crazy amount of money, but that's what he does for a living. He goes and stays and reviews, and he just he puts up his mom every time she comes down to Florida.
Well, that's how he's making the money.
He's writing it all off.
He's spending He's spending almost $1 million.
Yeah.
Can you imagine spending $1 million a year vacationing?
So let's clarify here, right?
We're clarifying.
My initial buy-in is 175 points.
Okay.
At $180 a point. And then closing costs, just like a house, right? Closing costs based on the resort that I chose. At that time, through Disney, there was Alani and there was Copper Creek at Wilderness Lodge. So I went to Copper Creek. I'm not going to, even though we're West Coast, I'm not going to Alani that often. Hawaii's cool, but not that cool. Like, I'd rather go to Florida. Alani's like a little mini park, but I'll do Alani in maybe every 5 years ish.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm in for 100. That means every August, and that's my use year. Okay. I'm August to July. I get 175 more points.
Okay.
I don't want to say for free, but they just give me 175 more points to put into my account, and I get to use them however I want. I'm not paying another $180 per point. I get 175 points every year for almost 50 years because I missed it by about a year.
So you buy so you buy in at that initial, this is how many points I have, and then every year you get re-upped with points, but you don't pay for those points? So what are you paying? So what are you paying for?
After I paid my after I signed a contract for that amount, right? And a quick math, 180 times 175 points, right? $31,500 plus closing costs, and closing costs are different for each resort. The fancier ones cost more, obviously, and then you pay a maintenance fee or an annual due. It's the same thing. Every year you pay that based on the resort. The stuff on the coast pays more because the maintenance upkeep, they get hit by hurricanes and they got the weather over there. Alani pays more, but you pay these maintenance fees every year, and that allows them to not only keep it up but make upgrades to everything. So every time they redo all the rooms, they're using your maintenance fees. So over this time, I'm paying $31,500. Like I pay, every month. It's like making a car payment or whatever. And then at the end of the year, I'm paying my annual dues until I'm done paying.
What are those? What are the annuals? About roughly. You don't need to tell me exactly.
Oh, I should have. I should have known you were gonna say that.
Oh yeah. Oh hey, we get very detailed here. I mean, come on.
Maybe I'll have it by the end of this. I can't even. I think off the top of my head. It's not bad. It's not bad. You really don't even think about it because you don't have to pay for points anymore. That makes you happy.
Okay. So once you paid off the fees and the closing costs and all the 31 grand or whatever, then you only have to pay your annuals?
Exactly.
Okay.
Ever?
Yes, exactly. Ever.
Okay.
So here's what I really want to carve into your head. Here's why I don't want you to think, well, damn, if I don't get to take vacations that often, whatever, and I'm making a car payment plus I'm paying yearly, is this $31,500? Let's start to think about every vacation.
Oh, yeah.
What I want you to think is every DVC property has a certain amount of points that are built into that property, and they can never increase the number of points. So what that means is your points don't get devalued. So if let's say the room at Wilderness Lodge is costing me what would be about $500, $600 for an average person, in 10 years, 20 years, now you have to pay $1,200, who knows, whatever, right? The value of that room goes up. I'm paying $800 if I pay cash, or $1,000. I'm not really paying much more than my $500 or $600 a night.
Okay.
I'm actually probably paying less than that because I'm a DVC member, but you the growth of the cost of your room per night is so low compared to what Disney is going to increase over time. So what you're doing is you're locking in. So when Clara has this, my daughter has this 40 years down the road, she's going to be paying close to 2018, 2019 prices.
Yeah. So
that is the key to this.
Would you mind divulging like what is the average points per day, maybe like for Alani? I guess that's a high end DVC property. What would be a point? How many points would you use for a day there?
Okay, so I have something better for you. How about this one? Alani's a good one if I can look up my history, but I have this. I have a vacation booked for January of 2021, assuming Corona doesn't mess that up.
Right.
It's a 1-bedroom villa, so I've upgraded from a studio. So 1-bedroom villa has a room off to the side, and it usually has a bathroom that can be accessed from both sides. It has a fold-out couch, and it has usually where the TV is, like it folds down into another bed, the full kitchen, the washer dryer. So a 1-bedroom villa fits my family of 4 perfectly. It's going to cost us from Thursday to Thursday, so like just more than a week, right? Is that like an 8-day-ish?
Okay.
It's going to cost me 218 points at my home resort.
Wow.
So that's a deluxe resort. If you were to rent those points at $19 a point, that's something we haven't talked about. Let's say someone from the outside wanted to rent those points. That would cost $4,142.
Wow.
So I can guarantee you that 218 points I have are probably not that within $500 or maybe even $1,000 ish.
Okay, but if you only get 175 a year and that's 218, do you then buy the remaining points?
We actually had 55 left over from this last year, and we banked them, which means they kind of go into a holding account, and you have to use them within a certain amount of time. You get kind of a leeway on when you get to use them. So you got to bank them, or you'll lose them. But we have to bank them by the end of March, and we get to use them on our next trip. But you can start booking trips before so we only have 55 points in our account, and we know we're going to get 175 more. So in August. So we're booking our trip ahead of time, expecting those points to come in, and we're just going to wipe it out. But I guess technically what we're doing is we're borrowing. That's a very common thing. Like I said, you can actually have points you didn't use from last year, bank them in time, and then use your set of points from this year and then borrow from next year.
Okay.
And then if you're still short, you can borrow. Disney will allow you to rent. It's actually buy 24 more points to make up a shortfall.
Oh. Okay.
So
you can't just rent 2,000 points if you wanted to. It has to be within the limit of the contract you signed.
I could be wrong on this, but through Disney, you can rent 24 points.
Right.
I believe you can also go to, or you could in the past, go to the resale market. And the resale market is huge for this stuff. We haven't even begun to talk about this. You go to the resale market and find a bunch of people who have points they're just not going to use, or they want to rent them out, and just start stockpiling points to make your ultimate vacation.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Well, that all makes sense.
Can you use, if you're short, say, 20 points, let's say 27 points, and then you can rent those 24 points, can you pay cash for the other points? Is there any time that you can use cash to supplement points?
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
Without buying them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that if you can mix and match like that.
Okay.
I wouldn't think so, because then that would defeat the purpose.
Yeah, I was just curious, because like when you have like Marriott points, you can do that.
Yeah.
And so I was just curious if it was a similar kind of situation.
Yeah, not to rub in your face, Miles, but we have Marriott points.
Marriott points.
Just saying.
Just in case you were curious.
No, that's a great question. I love that. You cast myself. Okay. No, I don't know. That's a good question.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
I would guess not, just based on kind of the way that they have this all kind of worked out. It doesn't seem like it seems like that would overcomplicate things.
It might get tricky. I do want to mention that those of you who are interested in DVC but not willing to make that jump, and that makes total sense. There's a lot to discuss with your partner or think about over time, but you can rent points from a DVC member, stay at one of these places, and enjoy it, and then make your decision based off of your time there. Of course, you're not going to get the perks because you're not a DVC member, but that's not that big of a deal. I would say find availability, then find somebody who has some points. You can go onto the website and probably find some availability, call. They're fantastic as far as customer service, but think about the really cool places you would like to stay that are DVC only that you would never get to stay. Never get to stay at Bailey Tower or the Riviera and just rent the points you need to stay there. You're paying $19 to $20 a point.
That's not bad.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, here's a very quick example, and then I guess I could say I'm probably done unless you guys have more questions.
Okay.
Saratoga Springs is a gigantic resort down at Disney World. Saratoga Springs is huge. It's right down by downtown Disney or Disney Springs. If you were to use 160 points, you could get 11 nights.
Wow.
Now, in 2018, that was the cost for that was kind of like for a DVC person that was like $938. I'm going off of this example online. If you were to rent those, and the price was $16 a point back then, that price is $2,500. So right there's a difference between the $938 and the $2,500.
Wow.
Now, if you were to move to Wilderness Lodge, which is the cheapest deluxe resort for 11 nights, now you're up to $3,700. If you paid cash for that Saratoga Springs stay, it would cost you $4,800 before tax. I hope that illustrates the ways that you can get into a DVC property.
Wow.
And the difference in price.
That's crazy. That's interesting. We have people in the chat who are like, where do I sign? Where do I sign?
Yeah, and I feel the same way, but I'm like, I don't want to do it without getting any like chocolate milk for the tour.
Oh yeah, for
right?
sure. I want to go on the tour for
Yeah.
100%. I want those fast passes like now.
And you know what? Those of us who can really appreciate this, those pitch people, and I sat through another pitch at Alani just to sit through it. And it wasn't a full pitch to non-DVC members. It was for DVC members, but it was talking about they really wanted you to add more points because I can go online right now and add more points to my 175 a year at any time. I just got to have the money and sign on the dotted line, and you can have multiple contracts under the same membership. And what that does, I haven't mentioned this, but at Copper Creek, that's my home resort, which means I get preference at an 11-month window. I can jump on and beat the people who are not home resort at Copper Creek. So I get on at 11 months out, and I set my vacation, and everybody else has to do it at a 7-month window. Now, for every other DVC property, I have to do it at 7 months. So your home resort should be the one that, because you're going to get the best chance of getting your preferred vacation time.
Okay. So if we have to do this, we have to wait till 2025 when the Disneyland resort opens. Because, I mean, we're not going to buy into Disney World.
He did.
Yeah, but he goes more than we would, I think. To Disney World? I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Or, that's a good question, Miles. And then if you're done, we'll let you split. But what's the best thing to do? Is it to find a resort hotel where you're going to be going more often than not, or just get into the program because then you can shuffle points around?
You know what you might want to do being a West Coaster is you might want to rent the points to stay at Alani. Just pony out some cash for it. If you've never been to Alani, you guys, none of the four of you have been to Alani, right?
No, we had drinks there and I got really sick. That's where I caught the flu last time we were out.
We didn't stay there, but we went there.
Yeah.
Okay. And just the visit there, that area where Alani is carved out paradise. It's just fantastic, right? But when you stay there and the opportunities you have, we were there when American Idol was filming, which was annoying but cool at the same time. Alani is gorgeous, and a lot of West Coasters, because there's not a lot of DVC properties over here, not a lot, on the West Coast, Alani is their home resort, and Alani's still open. Now remember, so this is the key right here, right? Yeah, if you don't want in an Alani, I think Copper Creek is now closed because they're full, and so the only one is Riviera, which opened up in December. So you have Riviera and Alani, and the next one is going to be Reflections, but you're at least 2022 to that one. I just have special memories of Disney World, and so I'm happy to make that flight and that trip, and I want my girls going there. I've been to Disneyland just like you guys have. It's so many times, and I love that place, but Disney World offers me something a little different that's special to me.
Alcohol.
So when you go to Disneyland,
a lot of it. Yes.
When you go to Disneyland, do you get just regular hotels, or do you use your DVC stuff?
Well, the funny thing is I've been DVC since January of 2019, and my first DVC stay was in Alani. I've never stayed at my home resort.
Oh.
And I haven't had a chance. I'm balling when I go to Disney World. I go down to Disneyland, and I stayed at the Motel 6, like Jason said. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But I never even stayed at Paradise Pier. It's so
Neither
cheap.
have I.
Yeah, and I haven't either.
There's no way. All right, well,
Cool.
Miles, thanks, man. That's a really good rundown. I understand it a little bit more because I used to think, like we talked about before, it's kind of a scam or whatever, but it sort of makes too much sense now.
I know. I'm a little nervous about this whole thing, to be honest with you.
Right?
Yeah.
We're all on Disney social media, and we all know how crazy Diz Twitter people are, or anybody else. If Disney was running something that didn't make sense, they'd be called out so fast, they'd roast them on a spit.
Oh, for sure.
That's true.
Part of me does sort of want to like reapply for Club 33 again, but I guess the benefit for DVC is that you eventually stop your monthly pay or your monthly payments, and you just have your yearly like true up. So seems cheaper.
If my wife could hit the jackpot at the video lottery, man, I'd pay it off tomorrow, and then we'd just float for 47 years and just be
balling.
Points.
Yeah. Give me points. I'm a point guy now.
Gosh.
All right, Miles. Well, if that's it for me. If it's it from Terrence and Bev, we'll let you go.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
Cool.
It's
Thanks,
good
man.
talking, seeing your faces, and you're all happy, healthy, and safe.
Thanks, man. You too. Appreciate it.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right, Miles.
Bye.
Bye, dude. Yeah, that makes too much sense. I don't know if I like it now. You know what I mean? Like it does. I do sort of want to wait for all the perks of going to on the tour and stuff, but
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm a
sounds good.
cheapskate, so the best part to me was like, oh, free fast passes?
I know, right? Exactly.
Right.
Sign me up.
And chocolate milk.
And chocolate milk. I've heard the expression in regards to those timeshare meetings, you can't squeeze blood out of a turnip.
Right.
I'm the turnip.
You're the turnip.
You're not going to get anything from me, but I'm going to
right.
get some free passes.
Oh, hell
Although
yeah.
he didn't make it sound terrible, to be honest.
No, it actually sounds very reasonable. I mean, it is a car payment. He's right. It's for a mid-sized luxury car, $35,000 or whatever.
But then you pay that off and like you have it for 50 years. A car you don't have for 50 years.
A car you don't have for 50 years. What is this? That's true.
It's kind of like paying your car registration on a car that you have for 50 years. I don't know.
I guess.
It doesn't seem that bad.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't at all. Well, let's I don't know, man. Whatever.
Ooh, there's a good comment in the chat that with Alani you don't have to pay for the park.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Let's talk about the 21st Amendment real fast, and then we're going to hit some Disney news, and then we're going to go. We're sort of
Been here forever.
running a little long, but that's all right. It was definitely worth it. I figured that
Yeah.
this would be a long one.
Yeah.
And
it's
I'm
fun.
okay with it. But the 21st Amendment has been serving craft beer in the San Francisco Bay Area for 19 years. From their initial brew pub on 2nd Street, just 2 blocks from Giant Stadium in San Francisco, to the production brewery and tap room across the bay in San Leandro, 21st Amendment is now available in 29 states, including in and around the parks, especially New Jersey, where Rob and Nick are from. Rob was drinking some 21A beers, earlier in the show. So I definitely appreciate that. And so does the 21st Amendment. Next time you're in San Francisco, visit the Brew Pub and shoot over to neighboring San Leandro to check out their new production brewery and tap room when it opens. They're both closed. Everything's closed down, of course, obviously. But, as things open, these are going to be great places to go to. You're supporting local business. You're supporting, our friends. You're supporting the show. And it's a good thing to do. All right, let's do a little bit of...
March in the past.
You know what? You can all shut up. Or can you?
March in the past, present, and future with all the news that's fit to cover.
love it
It's
so
Ears
much.
Up Disney News.
So bad.
One day I'm going to fix it. I swear to God.
Say that every
I think I've said
time.
this before. It's so morose, and it's just like it's like almost in a minor key. Like it's just like dismal.
It's sad.
It is sad.
yeah.
It's very sad.
What's weird is like none of the other controls for the songs work with this song.
You broke it real good.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Even this just doesn't sound fun. It just sounds
Yeah.
like
Like,
depressing.
oh, good. We were talking a little bit about The Mandalorian, and Disney CEO Bob Chapek says Mandalorian Season 2 will not be delayed due to COVID-19, and the studio believes in theatrical experiences. Ooh,
Like over health or
Apparently, I don't know, man.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Don't fear that you will see The Mandalorian Season 2 this October on Disney Plus as planned. There will be no delays. In addition, the new Disney CEO continued to emphasize the studio's commitment to theaters. This despite the fact, Trumpy, get away from me. It's the third time, bro.
I watched Taryn's face. She was like,
God.
"This."
she's too big to do this. Like
Whoa.
she's a giant cat.
She's beautiful at any size, Taryn.
Fat shaming.
Disney CEO continued to emphasize the studio's commitment to theaters. This despite the fact that movies like originally planned theatrical release Artemis Fowl are going to Disney Plus instead. Chapek says, quote, "We believe in the theatrical experience, particularly to release big blockbuster films. And that's because of Disney's resonance with consumer products and even Disney Plus, but having the streaming service and access to 54 million subscribers, quote, it's a viable way to premiere films as well." I don't know, whatever, dude, who cares? So basically, he's saying we're still going to do theatrical releases, but it's going to be, I think, a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
Okay.
Because, Trumpy, you're annoying. Stop.
So what? Like, if they think a movie is going to be a blockbuster, they're not going to release it because they'll want to make that coin. But then, if they think a movie's just going to be all right, they'll release it to Disney Plus.
I guess. I don't know. I think it also depends on how long the whole lockdown stuff happens. I know places are starting to open up now, which is, in my opinion, too soon, but that's just neither here nor there. So if we're shut down again because all these reopenings release the second wave, which people are predicting, then they're going to have no choice but to fire them out to Disney Plus because they're still going to be generating content. Yeah. So I don't know. There's that. Let's keep on the health for the health tip for a second. Did you guys know that Disney has a chief medical officer?
I did not.
No.
I had no idea.
CMO.
Yeah, her name
Disney.
is Dr. Pam Heimel, and she's Disney Parks chief medical officer, and she's talking about the phased reopening of Shanghai Disneyland. And she says, I want to share an update with you about our plans and considerations as we prepare for the reopening of our parks, resorts, and stores. Phased reopening, we're looking at all of our locations and how best to begin the reopening process. Yeah. Physical distance and capacity measures. They're following CDC guidelines, cleanliness and sanitation. They're planning increased cleaning and disinfection. Determining where that should take place, for example, in high traffic areas, and the cleaning products and processes we'll use, screening and prevention support. They're training a bunch of cast members to pay attention to this stuff. So it's really not so much the message, so much as Disney has a chief medical officer.
Yeah, that's so weird.
And I wonder if she's new or they've already sort of had something like that. And then,
I have to imagine she's new, because why would they need
Yeah.
one? Like, what would she be doing until now?
But also, like, how rad are you that you're a doctor, but now you're Disney's doctor, you're Disney's
Yeah.
#1 doctor. Like, your career has peaked.
You're
Yeah.
Mickey's personal physician.
Yeah. You're a princess doctor.
Yeah, that's
Totally.
true.
That's good.
But almost as good as the article or the statement is the results on Twitter, the replies on Twitter.
Oh, geez.
Twitter is crazy.
I hate Twitter.
This is some stupid account. Rather than masks, which will just contaminate the face, body, etc., a face shield is the best protection. You can't touch the face without effort, and it's a physical barrier. If people want to wear masks, require them to wear a face shield.
A face shield,
That-
like at the dentist?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
that's the
literally the same
reply. Yeah, that's the reply to the Disney Parks official Twitter. Is someone from
Wow.
the unofficial page? Like what? I mean, how many people does this person has 46 followers, and they think that the Disney Parks page cares about what they have to say in their medical opinion?
I'm actually disappointed
Okay.
that you read it now, because now...
Yeah, but it's spelled weird, so it doesn't matter. What were you gonna say, Beth?
I saw a lady at the grocery store
Yeah.
who had a shield on.
Yeah, she looks like a freak.
It was, I mean, look, masks are a thing. I get it. I wear one. It's fine. There's like a mentality that goes along with shields, I think, because this lady also individually wrapped every item that she was purchasing in those little plastic bags from the
The vegetable aisle or the meat aisle or
Yep.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Crap.
Wow.
yeah, oh yeah.
To what end? It's
But
just
wait,
going to
but
be
it's
contaminated.
even better because I'm in we're all in line, like, doing the social distancing. I'm 6 feet back. She comes up and she stands like she brushed me, like we touched.
Oh.
This close to me because she's trying to see if there's more space in the other aisle, and I'm like, lady, no.
Did you say that to her? Did
I
you?
was like, I'm gonna need you to just step away from me for a minute. You're just a little. I wasn't that rude, but I was like, can I help you?
Yeah.
Can you move?
I'm sorry. Do I look like I work
But
here?
This is my space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your space, and you have a shield.
Yeah. That's weird.
It was a thing.
Here's another person on Twitter replying again to the official Disney parks, and she even tagged Walt Disney World. So this lady made the effort to drag the entire Disney World park into it. Please have a soft opening of the parks for Florida residents only. We miss our parks and look forward to new innovations that keep guests safe.
Selfish.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah.
Also, literally never cared. I will let anybody who's giving me money into the park.
It's
I
like,
do not care where you live.
please have a soft opening for residents of Florida only. Shut the Denise.
D nice.
Yeah.
Aaron.
Blah blah blah. Oh my god. As an annual pass holder, make that a family of pass holders. I must
gosh.
say, I have been anxiously awaiting for news of Walt Disney World reopening. I hope the powers that be will focus on factual data and not the fear-mongering garbage being spread via MSM. Shut up.
MSM?
I don't know, man.
MSNBC.
MSM is what she
Oh,
said.
MSM.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just weird. Face coverings or masks, not a good idea in the Florida heat. Bro, these aren't like it's cotton. It's
Yeah.
fine.
I mean, they're warm, but also like, or you could get real sick and end up in the hospital. I mean,
Yeah.
Or
What?
don't go to Disneyland.
or that.
Not wearing a mask in 100-degree heat in Florida, especially when sunlight, heat, and humidity kill the virus in seconds.
Oh, well,
Do they?
I
No,
guess that
they don't.
there we go. That solves everything.
I read somewhere that like it takes 18 hours of sunlight to kill. It's like these people are stupid. They don't know anything. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. If you believe that,
I'm
that's
like having a lot of asthma problems recently, and so I really do hate wearing my mask.
Mhm.
So therefore, I'm just trying not to go out.
Yeah.
Yes.
right.
And
Right? Like,
yeah.
if it's too humid and too hot, stay in your air-conditioned house.
There you go.
You know you got it.
Well, you're real smart, Bev.
Here's a good reply.
Wow, nobody's ever said that.
It's to Disney parks, and they drag Disneyland in. Hi, who can I speak to regarding a refund for the park hopper passes that we purchased? We are from Canada, and with the borders being closed, I'd rather get the money instead of extending the dates. My wife also has an autoimmune disease, so Disney might not be an option for us. I don't know. I'm guessing you should just call customer service. That's my guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Not reply to a Twitter.
I hate Twitter.
Yeah. Also, MSM means mainstream media.
This is a good one.
Oh.
What are the qualifications of the doctor? Stock owner? I will not go until I feel it is safe. And it's like, she is a doctor. She's not a chiropractor putting out a viral video on YouTube, right? Like, she's an actual medical doctor. And then someone posted her like, a bio. She was the director she was the director of integrated health and corporate medical director at Cisco Systems. She's responsible for the strategy and design of Cisco's Health Connections program. Blah 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 blah. She's like done.
She's a corporate doctor.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
this is her jam.
For mass amounts of people, right?
And even if she didn't have great qualifications, she's a Disney doctor. Like, who cares what her qualifications are? What does it have to do with you?
Nothing.
She's also a doctor. Like, are you a doctor?
Right.
Sit down.
That's why Twitter kind of sucks. Like, people on Twitter just like to be angry.
Jeez.
But speaking of being angry, Shanghai Disney opened this past week. Yeah. And by all accounts, things are going well. But what bothers me is some of the pictures that are coming out of Shanghai Disney, right? Where so they have these, I don't know how big they are. They look like 4x6 stickers that they put on the ground where it says, "Please do not stand here." And so you're supposed to stand in between the stickers.
Yeah.
Right? And there's just pictures of people standing in between the stickers and then on the stickers and then sort of on the stickers. Like, there's nobody really, they're giving people space, but it's more like 4 to 3 feet than 6 feet. People with no masks on, or their masks are pulled down and they're on their phone or whatever. And it's like that's what bothers me about the parks reopening right now, is that even especially in China, right? Because they're used to this. They've had this for a lot longer than we have. Not a lot longer, but longer than we have. The things are clearly marked where the cast members coming through and be like, "Hey, can you don't stand here, you stand here," and give everybody space. It doesn't seem like there's any of that. And so if I'm curious to see how that was going to work out here. Where
people are more angry.
Where people are more angry. People are protesting. It's like, I don't think that line markers are really going to work well.
They're not.
No. And it's going to cause fights because there's going to be somebody who's anxious about it next to somebody who doesn't care, and then they're going to butt up against that person, and it's going to cause a fight. It's going to be so
There's
messy.
already fights at grocery stores, and there was fights in line at some restaurant for Mother's Day, which sounds insane, but like...
The Red Lobster. I mean, everybody wanted to go. There wasn't enough room for everyone. Oh, yeah. Big old brawl. Mother's Day brawl at the Red Lobster.
I'm literally not surprised.
Between people with no masks on, so you can imagine. Let's do some numbers real fast. Disney's quarterly earnings were announced the other day. They had their meeting. Apparently, their second quarter profit, this won't surprise anybody, dropped by over half. For the second fiscal quarter, adjusted EPS fell to 60 cents a share from 161 earlier. Revenue grew 21%, apparently, but that was largely driven by the acquisition of 21st Century Fox's entertainment unit. The pandemic has cost Disney as high as $1.4 billion in lost profit for the past quarter.
Gee.
Wow.
And this is the key. This is what I was telling someone the other day on Facebook. It's like, it's serious when Disney is losing $1 billion in 3 months and they're okay with it.
Yeah.
This is a serious thing, right? Of that amount, $1 billion was due to the theme park shutdowns. Specifically, the theme park division saw operating income drop to $639 million from $1.5 billion the year before, and profits from the film studio, of course, dropped around 8%, as most of the stronger performances came from films earlier in the quarter. In terms of TV operations, operating income increased 7% as sales of TV shows and Fox merger jumped. But cable networks like ESPN saw a slump in ad sales due to the pandemic because, of course, there's no live sports anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
The number of paying subscribers for Disney Plus has grown, of course, to $33.5 million. Or, excuse me, $33.5 million for Disney Plus, $31.2 million for Hulu, $22.8 million for SVOD. I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
SVOD only?
B as in boy, SBOD.
No, SV as in...
Victory.
Sure.
Give it like 2 seconds. The chat will know. They know everything.
Yeah.
That's true. And in the second week of April, Disney said that Disney Plus passed 50 million subs. That's just crazy. Yeah, I don't know. And basically people are saying, look, the second quarter is not going to be any better.
No.
Subscription video on demand.
Oh.
Oh, SVOD.
Yeah, but what does that mean? Subscription video on demand? Like,
So that's
does Disney have
Netflix.
that?
Yeah, it's Disney Plus.
It's Disney Plus. It seems like it's a little redundant.
Well, right, because they were reporting numbers on
About Disney Plus.
About Disney Plus, and so I don't know.
Oh.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
That's weird.
Maybe on Disney Plus you can buy more?
I haven't seen that option.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And then here's one for you fans of Nicolas Cage.
Isn't everyone?
All one of you, including Nicolas Cage.
I'm not gonna lie, I low key enjoy Nicolas Cage just because I know it's gonna be amazingly terrible, and I'm like,
He's just so
yeah,
weird.
sign me up.
Yeah, well, he's a Coppola. What do you want? National Treasure TV series in development for Disney Plus.
I love those movies.
I've
I'm
never
the
seen
only-
any
I'm
of
never
them.
seen I'm the one.
Because
Oh, that's something we can watch.
no, we can't. I mean, you can. Yes, you're more than welcome to. God bless you. Go with God, my sister, because you are. I'm not. I refuse. If you're missing seeing actor Nicolas Cage chase after treasure while teaching us a thing or two about historical conspiracies, whatever. Anyway, there's a National Treasure 3 movie that's still in production. Wow, Terrence. I love how nobody mutes their mic and they're just going on.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Sorry.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Hopefully, we're working on one National Treasure for streaming, and we're working on another one for the big screen. Jerry Bruckheimer told Collider on Thursday. Hopefully, they'll both come together, and we'll bring you another National Treasure, but they're both very active in production. The one for Disney Plus is a much younger cast. It's the same concept, but with younger people. The one for theatrical would be the same cast. So Nicolas Cage is in for National Treasure 3, but maybe not for the series.
Okay.
Which makes no sense. Is it maybe his character but younger?
Yeah,
different
it sounds,
people.
It sounds like it. Yeah.
I don't know. Nicolas Cage is also in talks to play Joe Exotic, the Tiger King.
Oh no.
This is something I don't understand.
Okay,
Not the Nicolas Cage part, because I can totally see that.
sure.
But why are they making a
Yeah.
Tiger King movie? We watched it in real life.
That's true.
Yeah, it's stupid. It makes no sense, but they're just trying to capitalize on it because for some reason people really liked that doc, and I just
It was fine.
that I don't
I like
understand.
It's people who don't watch
liked
documentaries
it.
think that it was like amazing.
No,
But
it
it
wasn't
it-
amazing. It was
No.
super entertaining.
It was
It was
fun.
a train wreck.
It was fun to watch. It
It
wasn't
was not a
great.
good documentary at all.
No, it wasn't.
By the way, Carol Baskin totally killed her husband, right?
100%.
And fed him to a tiger, right?
I don't
Have
know.
you guys heard the song?
What song?
Yes.
It's a rap song about Carol Baskin. It's great.
Really?
You know what? So we watched the as much as I did not appreciate or enjoy that documentary all that much. We watched that follow up with Joel McHale
Yeah.
on Netflix, which was terrible.
It was.
Yes.
But one of the guys in there said that that's not Joe Exotic singing his song.
Yeah.
No.
That was the
no
best part.
way.
Which and I didn't realize that at first, and that's something that Joel didn't either pick up on or it got edited out or whatever. But I thought that was the biggest takeaway from that bonus episode is that that's not him singing those songs.
So when his
Sorry.
no, they didn't talk about it in the documentary, but when his second husband, when he killed himself on accident, and Joe sang at the wedding,
Funeral. He's saying his funeral.
I'm sorry, not wedding, funeral. Same
Also,
thing.
spoiler alert.
Sorry.
It was like you could tell that it was not his voice on the music videos. Like he did not sound the same at all. So I picked up on that.
I don't know. There were a couple things in the Joe McHale thing that I thought were like kind of interesting because, again, spoiler alert, if you live under a rock and haven't watched this yet.
Yeah. Right.
You kind of come away from I kind of came away from it thinking like Joe was a little bit of a victim. Like he shouldn't necessarily be where he is right now.
Nah,
or at least
son.
he shouldn't be the
son.
Or at least he shouldn't be the only one in the place where he is right now.
Oh, he should not be the only one for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I got that from the full documentary.
So did I. But then there were But then in the interviews that came with the Joe McHale thing, I was like, oh, this guy was kind of a skis ball. Like, kind of deserves where to be. Where he is.
I see what you're saying.
I think the documentary definitely painted him as more of a sympathetic character.
I see. Yeah.
And then talking to the people that were in the doc afterwards, they're like, no, he sucked, basically.
Yeah, they were like, no, he belongs where he is.
Yeah.
Like, people who you would think would have his back were like,
Well, that's sort of what I mean about why the doc wasn't very good. It just didn't really know what it wanted to be.
He was a tool, but just because you're a tool does not mean you deserve to go to prison. Like he did things that were horrible. But I agree with Beth. He's not the only one that should be in prison right now.
Who else do you think should be in prison?
simply because
Why are we talking about this?
Jeff for sure.
Jeff, 100%
teardrop
sure.
guy should be in jail.
Yeah.
Dude that went to Florida to kill her. Yeah.
But he didn't really go to Florida to kill her.
Really go to Florida to kill her, but like.
But he's killed
magically
people.
Jeff's like best friend, and all of a sudden, no money changed hands, or money did change hands, but there's no like paper trail. Like there's some sketchy things happening.
But it's
and
also
what about Carol Baskin? Who said the same thing?
They didn't have any evidence on him, so he's really in jail for animal abuse.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
there's a possibility of him being released because of coronavirus. Like I'm not even kidding. I'm not kidding. There's a possibility of him being released because he's a non-violent offender, and they're afraid of coronavirus spreading throughout prisons.
When are they're going to start releasing non-violent offenders? Because that's a big thing in the news now. There's a ton of people that are non-violent offenders that have contracted coronavirus in prison.
They've already done it in Contra Costa County. My brother-in-law is a prison guard in Richmond, and they've already released, I think he said, between 10 to 12% of the total population because of the fact that they're non-violent criminals.
God, can you imagine? See, now if you went back in time and you knew that you'd be released eventually, it makes you want to commit a crime.
It does?
No.
No?
Good.
That's too bad. Right. Yeah, you're probably right. Well, anyway, that's it for news. That's all I had. There's not a whole lot going on.
That was a lot, I thought. That was some good stuff.
Yeah, it was all right.
Can you just be happy about it?
Nope.
Oh.
I've never been happy my entire life.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. All right, we're going to get out of here. Thanks a lot, everybody, for sticking in the chat room. I really appreciate it. One thing I didn't get to, the latest Supreme Resort is out. The boys compare the Grand Floridian to the Grand Californian Hotel.
Ooh,
nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty
very
good one.
interested to know which one wins.
Yeah, and there's going to be another episode dropping, I think, next week. There's a new cash grab episode. They're doing a lot of work over there. That's for sure. Ears Up in Depth is out. I think that's kind of an older episode, but whatever. Banter, Besker, and Bantha Milk. Check out the Bantha Milk podcast all over wherever you find good podcasts and social media and all that kind of stuff. Follow the boys. They're our new friends, and I appreciate it. We should talk real fast about the next Corn Tiki Room.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, let's end the show now, and then maybe we'll stick around and stay live for a couple minutes and just pick a new date and stuff like that.
Okay. All
right, let's do that. Thanks to everybody for listening live. I appreciate it. Thank you to Concierge. Thank you to 21st Amendment. We really appreciate you guys sticking with us through all this kind of thing. Don't forget to ask for the 21st Amendment beers wherever you find good craft beer, like DCA, when it opens, hopefully, eventually. I was telling a couple friends, like, man, I sort of now only suddenly missing Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yeah, but only because, like you said, like you like the things you can't have.
Yeah.
Now that I can't go, it's like, that would have been fun to start planning a trip in September or October.
Oh, for sure. I've been feeling that way already.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm callous. All right, thanks everybody. We'll talk. Oop, hold on. Yeah, there we go. We'll talk to you later, everybody. We'll see you in the parks. Thank you. All right. That was a terrible fade out, but I don't really care.
I'm staying in, right?
Yeah.
We're staying live. Okay.
Do you guys want to do their happy hour soon?
Yeah, we need Jeremy though. But I think he's back from vacation.
Yeah, he
so
is.
we can I don't know. Maybe is Sunday too soon?
I can't.
Oh, Sunday's hard for you guys.
Actually, well, not really.
If it's evening, it'll be okay.
They're always evening.
No, I know. Like if it was like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, that might be okay.
They're always like 8:30.
Yeah.
That's even better. Yeah, I can do Sunday then. I can do Sunday at 8:30.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything that should be. I mean, what do I have? Sure,
Yeah.
sign me up.
Yeah. Bev, you sound weird. You sound like you're not on your microphone.
I'm on it.
Are you? Like
I am.
touch, rub its nubbin. Yeah, you are. Is there like a bass setting or something that you can?
It sounds different than Terrence's. Like you guys have the
Yeah.
same mic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, Terrence, you can come over and fix it.
I got you.
Okay.
So the song goes, Carol Baskin killed her husband, whacked him. Fed him to tigers, they snacking. Carol Baskin. I think there's another verse in there, but I forgot it.
Oh,
But it's amazing, and it'll get stuck in your head on a loop. It's so great.
Is it the TikTok song?
It's a TikTok song, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Wow.
there's a bunch of them.
But every time I tried to click on one, they wouldn't play.
Oh,
I was just going to send it to Taryn.
This is a 3-minute song.
Well, I have only heard the first one.
Carol Baskin.
Is this
Killed
it?
her
Yeah.
husband,
This is
whacked him. Can't convince me that it didn't happen.
Oh, yeah, I love that part.
Fed him to tigers, they snack it.
They snack it.
What's happening? Carol Baskin. Killed her husband, whacked him. Can't convince me that it didn't happen. Fed him to tigers, they snacking. What's happening? Carol Baskin.
I think it's
Killed her husband.
Oh my God! It goes
whacked
on.
him.
It just is this for
Convince
3
me
minutes.
that it-
Yeah.
Carol Baskin.
Carol Baskin.
Oh my God!
What's happening? Carol Baskin. Can't convince me.
Jesus Christ! I mean, at least write a second line. Come on.
No,
Or
it's
a
just,
verse.
it's a loop.
It's 3 minutes of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't think she did it. That's just weird.
She 100% did it.
I don't know. All right, so potentially Sunday. Should we do a theme or just be cool?
I think
I
we should-
had a theme that I was thinking about this week, and I forgot it. What was it? It was super easy.
Jeremy said that he wanted to do old Halloween costumes.
I
Yeah.
don't have any.
Neither do I.
I have like one.
I mean, I could pull something together.
I mean, we could
I
just do.
couldn't pull anything together before Sunday.
Yeah, neither could I.
No, what are you guys doing? It's Thursday.
Watching kids. My wife works the weekend. Stuff like that.
I would have to order things from Amazon,
Yeah.
and who knows?
Okay.
For sure.
Well, I guess maybe we just hang out. I could try to.
Oh, I
Yeah.
have a. We could all drink. We could all try and make the same drink. That could be the theme. Whatever drink we drink.
I don't hate that idea.
I'm okay with it.
That's a theme of just making the same drink.
Well, it's enough. It's enough to be like a thing that we
Okay.
put on Instagram.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, well,
And then we could get everybody to drink the same drink. It just has to be something that like most people have the ingredients for.
sure. Well, I'll look through my Trader Vic's bartender's guide because those are very easy.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, I guess that's it. Sunday at 6.
I mean, we get 6.
Sunday
I mean,
at
Jesus
8:30,
Christ,
bro.
8:30. Sorry, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we just make sure Jeremy's around, and
Oh yeah.
that's fine.
I was gonna text him, but it's like 12:42, so he's either drunk or sleeping.
I should just call him.
Right now.
No, we want to go. All right.
Yeah, we have to eat dinner.
I'm tired.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I'm glad you
Bye,
could join
guys.
us, Bev.
Yeah, sorry I was late.
But you came, and that's.
I did.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
All right. See you guys.
And I ran 2 miles today.
Dang,
I would
girl.
run 2 miles today, and I wouldn't run 2 miles. Whatever. All right, bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.